Welcome to the Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC. They'll help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you listen often, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Now here's your host, four-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and business coach, Holly Porter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show today. I've got one of our rules book series authors that we launched like way a long time ago. It seems like forever ago, but it was just last year, and it was the 30-30 rules, what I wish I knew in my 20s by 30 women in their 30s. And Carly Mossman is one of those co-authors to the book, and she is here as my guest today. Welcome, Carly.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me today, Holly.
Oh, absolutely. My honor. So Carly and I, how did we meet? Who connected us?
Well, we met through eWomen Network, and Monica Vaughn, who was the managing director at the time, got together this amazing group of ladies. And I remember meeting you for the first time. You were greeting everyone to the first event that I went to. And I was like, I've got to get to know her. She's amazing energy about her.
Well, Carly and I know when the first time we met, we had, you just meet people in your life and you just have that really cool connection, and just that you're going to always have a great place in your heart for that person. And that was you for me. So yeah, you have a great light about you and energy. And I'm blessed to know you, and I'm really glad that we got you on here finally to share with our listeners, because Carly's actually an architect in Las Vegas, Nevada, and she is now also the managing director of the eWomen Network. Gosh, how many women now are in eWomen Network all over the nation and the world, for that matter?
There's 500,000 members nationwide. It's an incredible organization, just full of brilliant women who are lifting each other up. We network together, obviously, but my favorite part of it is really the sisterhood and the support that we get from one another. I've been able to grow in such a qualitative, professional way that is a lot different than my architecture side, and it's been really wonderful to be with so many amazing women.
I would agree. Yeah, it is amazing, and I've only been a member for less than 2 years, and I'm one of their premier success coaches, as you know. So that's my first year doing that, and so it gives me the opportunity to meet even more fabulous women, because when I go to conference, I actually go to work, and I don't call it work, because anytime I get to have a relationship and have a conversation with other women, that's not work for me. So yeah, it has been a great organization. So yeah, they can check it out at ewomennetwork.com. We'll put a little plug there. But really why we're here is to talk about Carly and what she's up to, because you're not going to believe all the cool projects she has worked on, and one that she's working on right now, which I think now she can disclose what it is. Am I right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, my background has been mostly in hospitality and anything entertainment, naturally in Las Vegas, right? I've been here for about 15 years, and I got my undergraduate and master's at UNLV, and actually went back and taught at my alma mater for 2 years, which was really fun. But working with a lot of clients like MGM and Venetian-Sands and SLS over the years has given me some great resort experience. And now I am proud to say that after starting our own firm with my business partner, Alexis, we have a really, really cool project. And if you can kind of imagine all of the inspiration coming out of Hollywood right now with, Game of Thrones, that modern royalty kind of experience, we are doing a new project called Monarch. And it's going to house about 100 hotel rooms. And we have some really unique culinary experiences. But the signature elements of this project are going to be these beautiful wedding venues with gardens. There'll be about 8 acres of gardens surrounding the property that are going to have perpetual seasons. So you can come to Las Vegas And no matter what time of year it is, no matter how cold it is, how hot it is, obviously here all the time, right? You can get married and it'll look like the fall around you, or it'll look like gorgeous spring, or you're in the middle of a vineyard. So it's a really, really unique concept. And we're really excited right now. We are in the early design phase and working with investors, and it's a lot of fun.
So how long does a project from, start to opening their doors usually take for something this big?
Well, it really depends on a lot of factors. So say once all of the, investment and funds and players are involved, usually it'll take about, for this project, I would say 9 months or so to put together the documentation, the technical documentation for it.
Right.
Then it's time to move the dirt. And moving the dirt actually takes quite a long time, and I get really impatient with that part because I like to see the building going up. Oh, yeah. That's usually about 12 months, and then maybe 24 months or so of construction for this kind of project. Yeah, so about 3 years, it would be kind of from beginning to end. But I love the construction process. I go out on site frequently for my projects, and was able to, when City Center was getting built here, actually.
Right.
It was like architecture Disneyland for me. I would go out on the site and I was just like, oh my God, that's going up today. Oh my God, that's going up. It was so much fun.
I bet. It's like your little baby,
Yes.
You see him walking, and then you see him going to school, and then getting in trouble.
Absolutely.
Is there a lot of red tape and political stuff involved in it because it's in Las Vegas, and is there going to be a casino in it as well?
We're not going to be doing any gaming.
Okay.
And on purpose to really set apart. There's, quite a market right now, I think, for resorts that don't have the gaming.
Right. Yeah. Which is why I chose to have my event coming up the end of September at the Alexis Park there in Las Vegas, because it didn't have the gaming. You can walk across the street to the Hard Rock and do that if you choose. But yeah, I like that off fill because you have the choice, And can you say the location where it's going to be located in Las Vegas for those that know Las Vegas?
Right. Well, right now we are looking at sites down at South Las Vegas Boulevard area, and kind of coming off the spinning of the Raiders Stadium. That's going to be nearby. It's amazing. The city has done a lot of improvements going down Las Vegas Boulevard now, and so utilities have gotten pulled, and there'll be a lot of development you can expect to see going all the way down to M Resort, I would say.
Oh, wow. And it's funny because nothing used to be out that way. I grew up in Las Vegas, and it's just, we used to have a 3-story tower that we thought was this big, huge thing my dad built. It was like a garage with this 3-story tower. We called it the Lookout Tower. And I could look around at the top of that, and there was a fort at the top when we were kids. And I could count 8 houses in the area. And let me just say where it is. It's like Durango and Craig Road.
Oh, yeah.
8 houses. Now that's like the middle of North Las Vegas practically, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was on 5 acres, and yeah, we thought we owned that place. And we used to watch all the jumpers, skydivers. They used to land right around there, but yeah, they can't do that now. It's just amazing. I love all the growth. So this has probably been a really great project, and what a great project to have your name on.
Yes, absolutely. And to be able to be involved in something like this, and to be leading the design. And also as architect of record is really incredible.
Oh yeah, well I congratulate you because you've worked so hard to get where you are, and gosh, it's going to be such a great thing. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen and what's coming, and how does that affect like your other projects and other clients. And I mean, because I don't know that much about your job, the architectural part of it, and how does all other projects fit in with something like this big?
Well, we really align our schedules based on the phases that things are in. And so we kind of stagger projects quite a bit. But I mean, typically we have about a team of like 4 to 5 people at a time maximum right now. And we are looking to scale and grow our business, though, for sure. But we would probably work on a maximum, I would say, of about 5 projects at a time right now, depending on the size. Now, for the castle project, when we would get into all of the documentation into that, we will need to hire people for sure.
Oh yeah. Okay. I had another question for you while you were talking. I was like, I got this question. I'm going to ask her about it. Oh, I know. If people are looking, so they're looking for investors still. So do you know anything, like, do you want to share where if somebody was interested, is like, wow, that's something I'd like to be part of, or I know somebody who would want to be, like, do you have information we could share with the listeners that they could go and check it out?
Yes, absolutely. So we are keeping things, on the confidential side with some of our illustrations and designs and things like that, right? So we can, we would love to set up a meeting or a conference call or Zoom or whatnot to introduce the project. And you can email me at Carly, C-A-R-L-Y, at coraarchitecture.com. That's K-O-R-A architecture.com.
And we'll post that below in the show notes, just so that if you're driving and you're listening to this and you're like, whoa, what was that? What was that? We'll make sure you get that information so that you can reach out to Carly and move forward with that. So okay, that's great. So let's talk about a couple other projects that were your favorite that you do.
Oh gosh, it really depends. I would say that we're most salient in design, and so that's where I really get excited, is in that phase. Yeah. And one of my favorite projects that I ever worked on was something I never expected to work on as a project type, and it was a timeshare sales center.
Wow.
And it was for Hilton Grand Vacations, and they basically came to us and they said, you know what, we have this new tower that we just purchased. It's the blue tower right next to the Planet Hollywood over on the Strip, and they wanted to sell their spaces basically for timeshares within that tower, but they wanted to be able to tap into their global products as well and advertise that differently. So we went and toured some of their more successful venues and things like that, and I decided to just present like a totally different approach to them for timeshare. I went through and I researched very deeply the whole sociology behind like the practice, right? Like when they meet the sales associate and shake their hand, to when they're first learning about what the products are offered, to where you start to see people, sometimes pull back and get, uncomfortable, with things. And so we integrated a lot of technology and made it more of a theatrical, interactive experience that guests had a lot more control over where they would go with the information. And so, for example, in when you would enter into the space, you entered in through going on sort of like a journey as you would on a vacation, right? And you go through a portal, and in that portal, you're walking by beautiful screens of waterfalls in Hawaii, and images of statues in Europe and things like that, where they have some of their locations. And with that, the guests can go through and they can explore some of that a little bit more. And they have an RFID card. And within that RFID card, they give that then to the sales associate, and they can see what they were interested in, and talk about that a little bit more. So it gives them a window into a more customized experience for each of the guests. And we also designed these really cool, we called them pods. And instead of being in like a room where there's a sea of tables and you can hear everybody talking about their personal financial information and things like that, right? Yeah. We made these areas that were more private, and within it was like the whole table was like a giant iPad. And so they could go and pull up, their dream vacation and basically design that, and they could build custom packages based on that. So it was really successful. They improved their sales by 30%. And it was really an awesome project.
So have you had feedback from them since? Like, do you ever go in there and just check it out and ask them how they're doing? And
well, it's not a real public place. And yeah, and I had worked on that actually when I worked for Gensler, which is a really big design firm. And yeah, so it was their client. And so I didn't really, keep up with them, but it was wonderful. Mm-hmm.
That sounds great. Do you think there's anything like that anywhere else?
No, not in my research anyway.
Wow. Well, it's amazing in different areas that people live in, like something like that where I am, in a smaller city in Utah, it's that would never fly. You know what I mean? It would be great, but they'd probably bankrupt themselves just for what they spent to set that up. I love these big cities that have, all this architecture and all these, Las Vegas especially, the architecture is amazing. I mean, people come from all over the world to look at all these awesome buildings. I mean, think about just in the last 15 to 20 years, how many hotels have gone up in Las Vegas and how different they are. And, I mean, when I was younger, Excalibur was the big thing, and now it's like, eh. And then we got the Luxor that was the pyramid. And when you go in the elevators, they go to the side. And I mean, it's just amazing. Like, if you've ever not seen the Luxor, it's amazing how they even make that happen. It's like, I don't know. I love design as well. And so it just amazes me how they do things. And so I'm happy that I can know you. And now I have someone I can go, how do they do that? Because wow, it's just, there's got to be a lot of moving parts to these projects. And there's got to be a big team when you think about, because I'm sure it takes engineers to figure some of this stuff out, right?
Oh,
how it works.
Yeah, huge teams,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was also the project architect for the SLS for most of the casino area and restaurants and kind of everything that was like on the first floor, and then I also did their ballrooms, and so that was a huge team.
Is that a hotel? I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, the SLS. Yeah, it's down where the Sahara used to be.
Oh yeah, I don't keep up. I mean, I don't live that far away from Vegas, but I pretty much make my trips, go to the airport. Yeah, I don't pay attention to that town's grown so much. It amazes me. Wow, that's amazing. Well, Carly, if we've already given your email, if anyone wants to contact you, they can do that because you're always going to be open for business to take on new clients, and maybe someone listening will see all this greatness that you're doing, or maybe they'll be wanting to invest in this project of are you calling it the castle?
We're calling it Monarch.
Oh yeah, you said that. Okay. When you said castle, is that what it looks like?
It is. It's very, it's kind of a chateau style looking of a castle. So very sophisticated design.
Okay. Wow. And how many people started like the birth of this project in the beginning?
There was 5 of us.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen to it. And I am so glad that you were able to join us today. I know we could keep talking because I love hearing all these fun projects. But.
Yeah, and I want to add too, we do all kinds of sizes of projects. Like, we just finished a small little ice cream shop that is really cool called the Creamistry. And so we do all different sizes and scales. We love all of our clients and have a lot of fun with them, develop really good relationships. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. That's true. And I know you did a salon.
Yes, Icon Salon, beautiful salon up in Summerlin.
I haven't checked it out. I've got to go over there and check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet it's really nice. I know you. Well, you amazed me before I saw any of your work, so I've only seen pictures of it.
Thank you,
well,
Holly.
Thank you so much for joining us, and all your information will be below in the show notes. And if you need to reach out to Carly for anything, I hope you do. And then I hope also you join us again next time on the podcast. And everybody have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Holly.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers LLC, helping you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you enjoyed our time together and we'll visit again soon. You can learn more about Prosperity Profilers by going to hollyporter.com.